All right, guys, welcome back to another video. It's your man Jay. So follow-up videos are important, and I'm so ready to give you a follow-up on this device. This is now 3 weeks with this phone, and it's been extremely impressive, to say the least. There's some key areas where I want to talk about in this follow-up, because a follow-up video, this is kind of how it's been for the last few weeks for me, and I wanted to pinpoint those items here for you. So. In no way is this a full review or anything like that. It's just it's a part of the process, I would say. So let's kick this off by talking about battery. Battery life is just been stupendous for me. Now, battery is going to depend on what you do with your device. I just took this off the charger about 30-40 minutes ago. And you can see it tells me that a full device for my usage will last me over 2 days. Now, real world, it's really only lasting me about a day and 14 hours or so, if I'm being honest. Now, because I haven't really done much with it so far. So this is something that you should take note of. This is possibly what you could get depending on, and this is probably with very light usage, but with me, no, I won't get a full 2 days. I haven't gotten a full 2 days like where I went into the next day with no charge, but I have gone a day and 14 hours, I believe. And I didn't really look at the screen on time, but I think it was like 5.5 or 6 hours or something like that. I like to measure by the time I'm off the charger. So this is it's pretty accurate. So while it won't last me over 2 days like it's recommending here, it will last me about a day and a little over a day and a half, which I think is really, really solid based on what this device is offering. Now, my display settings, if you're wondering, it should still be set. Yeah, here we go. It's at adaptive, which is 120. And the resolution, as you can see, is at the full resolution. Now, my screen brightness is at auto. I use auto or adaptive brightness is what they call it, but it's auto. Basically, that adjusts the screen brightness depending on how bright it is. Now, if I shine a light up there at the top, it'll definitely make this all the way up in brightness. But I know some of you guys run your phones at full brightness, and that is something that I just don't do. I don't know why. Because especially when it's dark in the room, I don't want to look at it at full brightness. So auto bright really helps with my eyes, and I'm wearing glasses too, so it really helps for me. But those are my display settings, because I know that's a huge part of getting really good battery is where your display settings are, and then also what applications you're running on here. I don't have a lot of applications on here, maybe just under 150 apps, and maybe about 30 to 40 of them get regularly used more than the others. So, because, there's system apps too, and you don't always use all the system apps, but nonetheless, battery life, folks, is going to depend on you. Now, another area I wanted to touch in here was the storage. So if you have the 512 version, you're going to see 50 gigs for the system. I don't know what the other memory options are, how much the system is using, but you can go ahead and tell me in the comments if you have the terabyte, what do you have? If you have the 128 or whatever the other options are, tell me what the system is using on yours. So 512. Now this isn't really a gripe, but it's kind of I wish they would have. They could have definitely implemented the SD card. I like to comment on this because some people come right along and start telling me they had to do this, when you really don't have any proof. You don't work for the company. You might have read something online, but these companies aren't going to tell you why they're doing something. But to me, an obvious indication that they want more money is like every other OEM out there that does not offer expandable storage. They want you to buy the higher model just to get the storage. So I think it's unfair, but life isn't fair. And that's the reason I opted for the 512, because I was sure that if I got this custom color, which is the sky blue, I definitely would not want to get rid of it. And I also would want to be able to keep loading things onto it if I needed to. If I didn't have any kind of way to get it off the device, and I didn't have a backup memory option. I have a 500 gig and a 256 gig Samsung SSD that I use to get the devices off, to get the items off it for storage if I just really need it. So I don't have to do that with the 512 gig. I've learned that I pretty much have about 300 gigs worth of stuff that I've pulled off of this phone, with all the moving and, around, and every time I shoot a video with this device. I end up, over time I've looked at all the files, and it's just under 300 gigs, because I shoot with this in 4K most of the time, and it's in 4K 62 as well. So, the videos can get kind of big. So storage is an option where I think they kind of dropped the ball on that and kind of played their consumers, because they can say that this is an S22, but this is a Galaxy Note. It's what it is. Not having expandable storage, it could be a complaint for a lot of people, and for me, it's kind of a, I wish they would have, but I'm not gonna cry over it. They didn't, so I got a 512. Now, if you're a person who planned on keeping this until it breaks, like some people, like 4 or 5 years of their devices, I would say get at least the 512. Even if you think you're not gonna use it, just get it while you can, because you don't have any expandable storage. So, yeah, that's the thing. So good battery, decent storage options, and then the also famous S Pen, man. If you have this device and you don't pull out the S Pen, I'm not gonna say you're wasting your money. I'm gonna say you're missing out on some great functionality and features in what your device could actually do. Now, I used to give a lot of attention to the live message and AirDoodle and the creating notes. But obviously, the one that's always gotten the most attention is going to be the screen write. Now, the screen write is so helpful when it comes to pinpointing something. You literally just tap it. It takes a screenshot of whatever it is, and you can say, well, the person doesn't know what the Apple Music icon looks like. It's right here. You can circle it here. It's something as simple as that. So if you look at the traveling feedback of this pen, it's really, really good. It's really accurate. The fact that you have all these different options for writing with this thing is extreme. I mean, you, in fact, will be so pleased with the accuracy of the S Pen. And this is something that they keep improving over time. So this is not something that's old. It's never really been bad, per se. It's never really been bad, but it's just been improved dramatically over the years. And that's something that I have to point out to you. So if you're one of those people who are not pulling out your S Pen, and you say you didn't buy it for that, like I said in another video, there's plenty of other large screen devices out there where you can easily save $500-600 or more by getting one of those. So the S Pen should be at the top of your list if you're buying this device, because I normally wouldn't say a person is wasting their money. But I would just say, there are so many other options out there that you can get. They have a big screen that'll be just as beautiful, for viewing your content or whatever you're doing with it. There's just too many other options out there than to spend money on the Note line, knowing you're probably not interested in that S Pen. But it's all about what you want. So, you might like the design of this device. I don't know what it is. Now, when it comes to software, this is a buttery smooth experience. One UI has gotten really good, with all the updates. I'm on the March security patch, and today is April 4th at the recording of this video. So, yeah, One UI is solid. It's very solid, and I just don't have any complaints about it. I haven't had any issues with One UI. There's just nothing going on with it at all. No complaints. I don't know. Normally when there's something bad going on with the device, lots of people report it, and they just focus on that. They just solely focus on that, and that's all they think about. But with me, if something happens with the device and I want to try to get it fixed, if it's a broken device, obviously, I'm going to reach out to the OEM or the manufacturer or whoever I bought it from, yes, to get it fixed. But this device with One UI isn't having any issues, and sadly, I have other stock Android devices that are not on the March security patch, ironically enough, and some people are already on the April security patch, I've learned. And I think that's probably the international versions from what I could tell. I haven't seen too many people in the US, and this is the official unlocked version too, so maybe I need to check mine, I don't know. But I haven't seen too many people in the US on the April patch, but I think I've seen a few people with the international versions on the April security patch. Now, the March security patch, I reported to you Wi-Fi issues. Well, sadly, I'm going to report those same issues are still happening. I've actually repositioned all of my satellites. And see, I have the Orbi system. You guys are recommending different systems, but I'm not buying anything else. I know that someone's going to tell me, oh, this is better than the Orbi system. But, based on my experience, I have a lot of Wi-Fi 6 routers, and the Orbi system is top dog. I mean, and again, not because it costs the most, because who wants to brag about spending a lot of money? Obviously, some people do. I don't. I want to save, but for what I needed, I'm able to get fantastic speeds and take advantage of the Wi-Fi 6E and the Wi-Fi 6 period. So it just so happens in a part of my house, this device will not connect. And that's just a part of the game for me. I've swapped out my satellites. I took the one from upstairs and put it down. You know, I moved them around. A lot of you guys, I appreciate your feedback, saying, oh, you need to move it here. But if you were to come in my house, you would say, oh, yeah, this should definitely not be disconnecting in this part of your house because the satellite is like right there. So it could be interference with one of my TVs, another device. It could be anything. But the problem is it's only happening with this device. So, you know, I'll try some other steps like resetting the network again and doing certain things, but I'm not bummed out about it. And I reported that to you guys because I wanted to know if you guys were having Wi-Fi 6 issues as well, or just Wi-Fi issues, period. And there's a lot of you guys are having Wi-Fi issues. So that is the reason for that. Now, obviously, the thumbnail is to grab you, if I'm being honest, just to get you to click on it and discuss. You know, it's not clickbait. I want you to get in there because there could be people that are having issues. And so, but in reality, I'm only having that issue with this device. So that means there's something going on with this device. That's just what it is. So with that being said, it doesn't happen on any other device. Now, what could be happening is having trouble connecting to the satellite that is closest to, but I checked that already, and that's not the case because it can connect to every satellite. It's just something with the device. It doesn't want to stay in that part of my house. So it could be the walls. It could be anything. It can't penetrate. Whatever. I don't know what it is. But it's definitely not my equipment, and it is definitely the device. So with that being said, I don't really care about it too much, but I have to report it to you because it is something that I'm experiencing. So if you wanted a custom color like this, you are now going to wait 6 to 7 weeks, folks, to get it. When I waited, it was 4 to 6 weeks, and I actually waited the full 6 weeks when I calculated the purchase time and when they sent me an email saying they started to make it. I don't know why they wouldn't have a bunch of these already created because, you know, obviously, you know, they're custom orders, but they know people are going to buy them. And then also, even if they weren't able to get a bunch of custom orders, they could just put it for sale and people will buy it. But you know, I don't think the materials cost any more. This is, to me, obviously the best looking one of them all with the matte sides all the way around. I don't like the glossy sides. This is just the one to get, in my opinion, one of the custom colors. If I couldn't get the custom color, I was going to go with a white color, and I tried to order one of those for my wife, but it was a total fail. Ended up buying her a 512 black in the end. But you know, the lighter colors I really like them. But if you choose to get, let's get in there. And I had it loaded up here. Yeah. If you choose to get one of these now, you are going to wait a while. So I don't understand why it's taking so long. So instantly, I just wouldn't recommend the 128 gig unless you just want to save money and you know you currently you just won't use 100 gigs for the life of your device. You know, minimum 256 is what I would say for a device like this. The terabytes are all gone. I had the intentions on getting a terabyte when I got my blue one, and I did select it, but I saw that there were no incentives behind that one, so I went down to the 512 and got all the incentives I could possibly get. Or I felt like it wasn't worth paying that $2,000 for that just to have double the storage. I don't think it was right. But you know, the 512 coming in at $1,400 plus tax, that's a better deal than the terabyte on a bad day, because that one came to about $2,000, I think, afterwards. But if you see here all the dates, the shipping times, and everything, yeah, man, the April 20. No, today's April 4th at the recording of this video. Let's see. Yeah, today's April 4th at the recording of this video. So, I don't know, man. That's a long wait now if you're going through Samsung direct for the unlocked versions, but this is what you're going to have to deal with. So the April 26th is the soonest you can get. Well, no, April 19th for the green. So that's the fastest you'll get one. Now, personally, the white is probably the best looking color of all of these, but it has those shiny sides. But you know, hey, that's it's up to you to pick what you want. But you know, the black is black goes with everything, so it's nice and basic. This is the color I like the least. It doesn't. Nah, I don't like that. And even this red custom color right here, you know, obviously on the website it looks orange. I don't know why they're calling it red, but it is what it is. But nonetheless, the sky blue, I think the white and the graphite are the best looking colors you could possibly pick up for this. With burgundy being just the least, I do not like that color. But that's personal preference. When we talk about shipping times, you know, that's going to be your real target right there. Like, how long do I want to wait just to get this color? And like I said, I waited 6 weeks and it was a mess. So they emailed me saying it was delayed, and then when it finally shipped, I didn't hear anything else about it, and all of a sudden it was on my doorstep. So I was like, whoa, I'm glad I was here to sign for it. So folks, performance, battery, cameras. I didn't touch on cameras much. You know, I've already done a review of these cameras. You know, the cameras are great, man. I believe these are the same cameras in the S21 Ultra, if I'm not mistaken. But if you just look at the camera module to me is better looking than the S21 Ultra. They removed all the little sidings around it. I think that looks better. Now, the problem with this is when you start to get into cases, you can see this is what it's going to look like if you decide to get a case. Most cases don't have the individual cutouts. Now, the official Samsung case has the official cutout for the leather case, I believe, and that is absolutely fantastic. Now, speaking of cases, I have a boatload of cases, and I take my cases on and off because I go in and out of the house. I don't leave the house without a case. But this has been, in fact, my go-to case for a couple of reasons. Now, I have a lot of cases, and I've brought you videos on a lot of cases. But grip-wise, thinness, drop protection, a whole bunch goes into me picking this case right here. It's kind of my top pick right now. And I say right now for that reason, because I change cases a lot. So this particular case, it has so much grip, it just doesn't slide around at all, man. I absolutely love it, and I think it's just one of the best looking cases and a beautiful feeling case, importantly. I've dropped this phone multiple times, but not with this case, and it's only been without this case or in a case that was kind of slippery. And I have a video up on this. You can check it out on the entire Rinky lineup, actually. The Onyx, though, and I also use the Camel Fusion as well. But this one, to me, I found has the most grip. Now, I also like the clear subcase Unicorn Beetle Pro. The clear one, to me, is the best one, or the military camo one as well. But ultimately, folks, you're going to have to wait for these custom colors if you really want one. And that's the tough part about having wanting this device. The wait now is bad on all of them. Now, carriers may have some options in stock if you decide to go with carriers. That's another option for you. Best Buy might have some. You know, just look around. If you're willing to pay full cost, then the doors open up to you a little bit more. If you don't want to get a carrier one, you just have to check Best Buy, check B&H, all these different companies. But if you're not wanting to spend a whole bunch of money on a device, get a carrier version. Up front, I should say, get a carrier version and finance it on your bill if that's what you want to do. This is the unlocked version from Samsung. It is the sky blue color. Overall, my experience has been great. Don't have many other gripes besides the Wi-Fi and the no storage upgrades or no SD card. But those are kind of small to me at this point, because a few weeks in with this, I can tell that this is going to be my go-to device. And I made a comment again on a post about the iPhone, whatever the next iPhone version is going to be called. They're going to have to bring it, because right now this device is in a competition with itself. That's why you hear a lot of people saying, I'm only buying the next version of this because this is so good. And I understand why that happens, whether it's the iPhone, the Samsung, the LG, the Motorola, whatever it is. Some people just go to the next level and they won't switch out if it's not enough, they feel it's not up to upgrade, or they just stick with what they have, or they get it because they want to get the next best thing from that company. So, you know, no competition for this device still, I say. You know, cameras are great. Battery is phenomenal. Software experience is fantastic. Beautiful design, beautiful screens. You know, it's just all there. And the S Pen is like the icing on the cake for a creator, for editing, for doing a whole bunch of different things. So, like I said, there's no competition from other OEMs. Motorola is the closest by having the stylus version. And I actually was on the fence about buying that because I felt like it was just the right thing to do. But, you know, I said, I don't know. I don't know how accurate it will be in comparison to this device when it comes to using the stylus. But I know that if you don't want to spend a lot of money, that is definitely an option for you. I'm not going to recommend you go out and buy a previous generation Galaxy Note like a lot of people do, because I think those people forget that a lot of the regular average Joes out there, they don't know anything about buying recertified. They don't know where to look. They're just going to walk into a store. They need it right now. And so you have devices like the Motorola Moto G Stylus 22 version and the previous generations. They're the only one that's even made an effort. LG dropped the ball with it, and Microsoft did too. The Surface could have been so much better. They dropped the ball on it. And so Samsung is still king when it comes to devices like this. They've always opened the door to new ideas because a lot of other companies are afraid. They're afraid to take a chance, and Samsung is not, i.e. the Galaxy Note. We no longer laugh at people, and who would have thought years later that the big devices like this would be king? So it's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed. Wow, it's been an experience so far with this 3 weeks in. I am absolutely loving it. Yes, I'm still using other devices, but I'm primarily using this one for nearly everything. I've even been using it to create. So while a lot of people say, "Oh, the cameras is trash," I've actually heard people say this, and I'm thinking, man, they don't. They're just listening to what somebody else said, and they may have tested it in a store or something like that for a few minutes, but they don't actually own the device, so I can't take them serious. So. But it's also personal preference. I'm not going to say that they're wrong. I just know that when you are going to use it for something, it is there. And I shot a video with it versus my iPhone 13 Pro Max because some people still are saying the iPhone is the king of video. I just disagree with that. I think that it doesn't even have a pro mode like this device, and you can't dig in like this device. You can't control the gains, nothing. You can't do any of those things on an iPhone, and I like my iPhone. But I would still reach towards this and tell a creator or a person who loves to do a lot of video, get this. The portrait mode is better. The microphones are better. It's just so much better about this device. So, while there's no competition for it, hopefully someone steps up to the plate and brings a Galaxy Note Challenger, because this isn't an S20 device. This is a Note, period. This is the Galaxy Note 22 or whatever they want to call it. I don't know. This is a Galaxy Note, and it is phenomenal. It's your man Jay. Hope you guys enjoyed the discussion and follow-up, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.